Tens of thousands of migrants have been crossing the border, seeking asylum in the United States. The journey is difficult for all, but women bear an especially hard burden as they seek a better life. Using a smuggler, this woman travelled through the jungles of South America with her teenage daughters to arrive in Mexico. But she was victimized before she even reached the US border. She spoke on condition that her face not be shown and her real name not be used to protect her and her children. We will call her Rosa.
Nos secuestraron. Creo que las mismas personas del bus se prestan para eso porque hizo como que el bus se accidentó en una autopista y estuvimos ahí como 40 minutos y luego llegó otro bus para hacernos transbordo y nos llevaron. Pensábamos que veníamos a Monterrey, pero cuando nos dimos cuenta estábamos en medio de la nada, solo era monte. A vuelta nos sacaron del bus o del camión, no sé, y nos llevaron a donde hay como una casa vieja y mucho monte, no había agua, no había comida y nos apuntaban con armas y nos amenazaban y pedían rescate, pues. A muchas de mis compañeras que estaban ahí, porque éramos muchas mujeres, pues las abusaron. Quizá porque como no teníamos dinero, o sea, algo tenían que sacar de nosotras. Mi hija de 17 años la tuve que defender para que no pasara eso.
Once Rosa crossed the border, she found someone to sponsor her and her children to stay in the US. They were flown to New York City and put in a hotel that had been turned into a temporary shelter for immigrants. But she couldn't find a permanent place to stay, and she didn't yet have work papers, so businesses wouldn't hire her.
Yo me alegro mucho porque acá me siento segura. Sin embargo, el idioma, en mi caso, o sea, para mí es complicado. Tengo que estar con otra persona o con mi hija de 17 años que entiende y habla un poco el inglés. Pero entonces cae la situación del trabajo y el papeleo, lo legal. Creo que es seguro estar aquí, mejor que en mi país y mejor que los otros países. Sin embargo, la situación del trabajo, eso es lo más preocupante, porque con trabajo uno puede dar de comer a sus hijos y pagar un arriendo, pero sin trabajo no se puede.
Pastor Matthew Block says Rosa's story isn't unique. Many immigrants are arriving in the United States in limbo. They get a court date for asylum, but no other help. Many have nowhere to go, and they are too afraid to get a job without a work permit and face deportation. Those who try to work without papers often take jobs cleaning houses or as nannies and make less than minimum wage.
The main things that we do for people who are just arriving are help them to understand the difference between ICE and the immigration courts, because often people think that if they check in with ICE, that means that they don't need to follow up also with a separate court date. And oftentimes ICE agents will even tell them not to follow up with their court date, which they're perfectly allowed to say. But if people miss those court dates, they are basically immediately deported. So we help kind of orient folks, give them a sense of the immigration system, the different agencies, and then because people are coming in usually from either Texas, Florida, or Arizona, one of the border states where often they're being bused from, they need an immediate change of address, and they need to change the jurisdiction, the venue of the immigration court where they're scheduled to appear.
17-year-old Karen Sanchez came to New Jersey from Honduras. She lives with her cousin and 6 others in a small apartment and sends any money she earns back to her family to help with their expenses. She works 10-hour days cleaning homes, but usually only earns a few dollars an hour. Because she doesn't have permission to work legally, she can't insist on minimum wage, and her family still has to pay her smuggler. She spoke on condition her face not be shown.
Yo quiero estudiar enfermería y eso pues porque es mejor ya que así ya no me tocaría trabajar en limpieza, que es muy difícil. Es pagado, pero no es como un trabajo de una carrera.
Some of the asylum seekers say coming to the United States was a mistake. They want to work, but they aren't allowed and they risk being deported if they work without permission. They can't afford housing or food, and the high cost of living means they just fall more into debt. Often, tensions run high in shelters. Recently, an asylum seeker was filmed shouting and kicking a piece of furniture, and a guard at the shelter punched him. The video of the exchange went viral. Juan Carlos Ruiz, pastor at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Brooklyn, said his parish has been proactive about providing resources and advice to immigrants.
Aquí en Nueva York tenemos cerca de 1 millón de personas que trabajan bajo la mesa, que no pueden conseguir sus papeles una vez que sometan y acepten el asilo político. No que hagan una decisión, pero que acepten. Y mientras estás en el proceso de aceptación, de regularización de tu estatus, pues ya tienes al menos un permiso para trabajar. Esos tiempos son muy largos. Es decir, entonces, ¿cómo sometes o cómo esperas que la gente viva dignamente y tenga un trabajo digno cuando no tiene las herramientas necesarias? Entonces eso ya lo sabemos que se aprovecha el empleador, ¿no? Y se aprovecha un sistema en el cual muchos de nuestros paisanos van a la Roosevelt en Queens o van a otros lados y consiguen sus papeles falsos, lo cual recicla esta cultura tóxica, esta cultura de victimización, esta cultura de explotación en contra de nuestros trabajadores, de nuestros migrantes.
After several weeks trying to start a new life in New Jersey, Rosa decided to leave and fly to Minnesota, where relatives have agreed to take her in and even bought her a plane ticket. But she isn't sure life will be any better for her family.